a topic that we've talked about like a while, just like food and
Yeah.
nutrition in general. What do you think is one of the biggest myths out there with regards to nutrition and what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat?
Okay. So this is a good question. And it is definitely an interesting field, nutrition science. Lately, it has been a little bit of a mess over
Mhm,
quite
mhm,
some time. And the reason that it has been a mess, and we looked at this in one of my intro psychology classes when we were doing research methods, is our prof showed us a whole bunch of different food items and then showed us the number of articles saying, for example, eggs. She would show us the number of articles saying eggs are known to cause, a certain type of cancer, and the number of articles which say eggs cure cancer. And they
oh
were almost the same.
man.
Every single one of these food types, they're commonly, we're not too sure, are they healthy? Are they unhealthy? It
Mhm,
seems to go back and forth. And eggs is one of those big ones, but you might go with red meat, fat, stuff like
mhm,
that,
mhm.
where there's just equal amounts of research supporting its health benefit and claiming it's harmful to your health. So that tells me that there's another variable at play that they're not counting in for. And one of the big ones when they're doing nutritional science research is they're not taking into account other lifestyle variables of the people in these studies, whether it be other nutritional variables. For example, if they just say that group A eats eggs and group B doesn't eat eggs, and then we'll see what we'll measure
Yeah,
your
yeah,
heart
totally.
rate or your blood cholesterol, that sort of thing. And but there's other variables, like location is a big one.
Mhm.
Location, where you live, what your other dietary patterns are there. Do you have a diet high in carbs? Do you have a diet high in fat? Um, those also come in to interact. The body's not an isolated system. It's not like, we're just going to target one organ to make that healthy, or, I'm just going to eat this to do this one thing. The body doesn't think that way. It's a whole interactive system. It's a gestalt, which is, it's a whole that's greater than the sum of its
Mhm.
parts. And I think with nutrition science, that's the way we need to look at it. Instead of trying to isolate and make one thing better, we need to look holistically at the whole body and get everything working up to snuff. It's like your car, you don't just focus on the gasoline and then put in the cheapest quality oil or something. You want to make sure everything, all your fluids, everything, all your maintenance is up to check. And the same, I look at the body the same way. Sorry if I deviated from the main
Not at all.
question.
Not at all. No, no, no.
What was the main question again?
It was basically my friend. Just, I mean, you covered a large part of it. It's just, Brandon, on a regular daily, when I'm on YouTube or even flipping to the channels on TV, I always see a different fit person, whatever you want to classify as fit, telling you, hey, you've been dieting wrong, or you've been
Right.
eating the wrong thing, or this is what you should really eat,
Yes.
or start drinking apple cider vinegar. And there's so many different voices, right? And like you said it perfectly,
Yeah.
like the information is so skewed. So Brandon, if someone just kind of wants to eat like healthy, who can they listen to? Like, is there a web page? Like, I'm thinking like Canada Food Guide. Like, is that the first go to?
Yes. And this is, again, purely from my experience and the research that I
Of
have
course.
done into the field. It is a very tricky question to to answer, because we do have to honor each of our individual body types. And,
Right.
that's some, we see there is some research that, you eat for your body type or eat for your ancestry, where your ancestors, your blood background, eat for your blood type, eat for, there's tons of different things to take into account with this. And the interesting thing is, for each of these, you see people that swear by it. They're super healthy. It changed their life. And then you have others saying that didn't work for me. So what that tells me is that everybody's bodies are different, and it makes it difficult is because how do you learn, what is right for you? One of the things growing up with is the fat phobia. And I'm not
Mm.
talking specific body fat. I'm talking fat, carbohydrate. The pure
Yeah.
fat from food. And a lot of research I've been looking at now points that fat is not as harmful as they once thought. The low fat products are more harmful for our bodies than the high
Oh
fat.
wow.
And that's what you
Interesting.
see with keto and those type of high fat, low carb diets, which a lot of people swear work for them. I did try it, and my body was not running optimally the way I would like it. So I think a lot of it comes down to just intuitive awareness with yourself. You know, if you eat, when you're eating something, you know, kind of you stop to feel, you know, how did my body respond to that sort of thing.
Mm.
And even then, that has its limitations. I'm aware that it has its limitations, but trial and error worked well for me. Over the years, I've probably tried every diet
Mhm.
because I was having skin issues, but then it turned out to be something totally unrelated to diet. So one big thing I would recommend is going in for a comprehensive checkup. You know, get blood testing done, make sure, you know, check out, but you're basically checking all those fluids. You're going in for a checkup. You're making sure that everything's running as it's supposed to be. So then you're not willy-nilly changing diets all over the place trying to fix something when it's actually not even caused by your diet, and what you've been eating
Mhm.
all along has been totally fine. And I do think as a society, we really do, diet's the first thing we look at, where there are a lot of other factors that do lead to physiological illness. You know, stress is a huge one, where we're still uncovering exactly the extensive negative effects that high stress over the long term does to our body. And why I'm in psychology, my personal interest is in, you know, how our cognition and perception of ourselves and our world actually influences our body physiology. And that's my main interest, and it's incredible.